Hi everyone, this is Todd, middle initial C Walker, and I have an interesting guitar here, and this is a guitar brand that I have never seen before. Well, I shouldn't say never, because I did last week. It's called Natasha, as you can see on the headstock. It's a Chinese-made guitar. They have a full range of guitars from under $500 all the way up to probably $3,000 or $4,000. I think there's even one that might even be higher than that, very ornate. Interesting guitar, this one. This one is made from high pressure laminate, or HPL. Very similar to the guitars that Martin builds with HPL. You're probably familiar with their what looks like all solid koa wood guitars that Martin builds that are just printed on HPL. And HPL is basically the laminate that you use on kitchen countertops. That's exactly what it is. It's a man-made product. Nice and hard. And it actually works quite well for building guitars inexpensively. It's not susceptible to humidity and temperature. Now, this particular guitar is the one they call a black hole. It has what is actually a faux quilted maple body out of HPL in black. It has the different planets, the 8 planets on the fretboard and on the headstock. The neck, which is interesting, it's a 5-ply neck made out of mahogany and rosewood. It's mostly mahogany, and then it has 2 rosewood strips down the back. Of course, you can't tell on this one because it's covered over black. But if you go on the Natasha Guitars website, you can see I think they build their necks all the same way for all their different guitars, but some of them that don't have color on them, you can see the different woods. Very interesting. The other interesting thing that I found is the nut doesn't look like it's inserted at the end of the fretboard the way most guitar builds are. This one looks like it's actually glued onto the surface, and the fretboard is actually APL as well, as is the bridge. It just says HPL ebony is what they call it. Plastic bridge pins. Bone nut and saddle, which surprised me, because this guitar retails for $399.99. It's free shipping, but you do have to pay sales tax depending on which state you're from. I live in Maryland, so the total cost came out to just a little over $420. So that's basically $399.99 plus sales tax. That's all it is. The tuners are Natasha tuners. They're probably made by the same company that most inexpensive guitar builders purchase from. They look like Goto 510s. They're not, but they are 18-to-1 ratio, and they work quite smoothly. The intonation is another thing that surprised me. Now, this guitar I took out of the shipping box yesterday. It took about a week to get to me. The other interesting thing was the box was a double box, which is an outer shipping box with an inner shipping box, and then the guitar, which came in a nice gig bag. I mean, it's not super high quality, but it's actually very, very nice. Padded. It's not structurally sound, although it is to the point where it doesn't flop over like a lot of the early gig bags did. Has a nice pocket in the front for whatever it is, books and things like that. And actually, what came in that pocket was a cleaning rag, which you always need to have, an extra set of guitar strings. These are the factory-made guitar strings. They're called T12s, and they're a light gauge. So they're 0.012 to 0.53, which is typical light gauge, whether you're buying your guitar strings from D'Addario or Elixir, whomever. So you get an extra set of guitar strings. You get a certificate of authenticity, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyway, you do. And then they also include their catalog. And in the catalog, it shows all their different guitars, their specs, their woods. It is really quite amazing. At least I think it is. And let's see, what did I forget here? Oh, the nut width is 43 millimeters, which means it's 1.69 inches, or 1 11/16 for the lack of a better term. The Scale length, 650 millimeters, which is 25.59, which I call the long scale, or many people call the long scale. I call it the right scale because that's what I like to play. Let's see, anything else? No, that's pretty much it. It is considered a jumbo, although I would say that this is more of a small jumbo. I didn't measure it across the lower belt, but my guess is probably it's about 16 inches, maybe 15 3/4. Very comfortable to hold. The edges do feel fairly sharp, although not sharp to the point of discomfort, just you can tell this is CNC work. Fret ends are nice. The frets are nickel. Very, very nice. The action is incredible right out of the box. The neck is very straight. Probably needs a little bit of neck relief. It's a little too flat, although it does not buzz, which surprised the heck out of me. I currently have the guitar tuned to pitch. I normally play a full step down, and I initially tuned it a full step down, D to D, and I had a little bit of buzz on some strings, but for a guitar with a very straight neck and very little relief, I was very pleasantly surprised. Very cool guitar. I have not looked on the inside yet. The braces all look like they're spruce of some sort. It is X-braced. And what most companies who build out of HPL do, and the only two that I'm aware of right at the moment are Martin and Natasha, is they use the same bracing on their HPL guitars as they do on their fine, high-quality wood guitars. I'm very, very pleased with this. Now, will I keep it? No, probably not. I'll probably sell it because I own too many other guitars. But if someone was looking for a guitar that is basically $400, built well, because the build quality is excellent, and wants a guitar they can just either take to the beach with them or on a camping trip or go over to a friend's house just to play or to use for open mics, I wouldn't necessarily say this would be a guitar that a professional person would use out on gigs, although you could, especially if you're outdoors and you were concerned about weather. It does not have a pickup in it, although they do sell a version with a pickup, and it's one of those smart pickups that does the reverb and all that kind of stuff. This one does not have it. If I were to keep it and put a pickup in it, I'd put a K&K Pure Western Mini because those are the pickups I use on all my guitars. We probably should listen to it. I should have done that in the beginning. What did you think? I'll give you my honest opinion. Now, I used a Zoom recorder about a foot off the 14th fret. Like my Martin, and I think the Martin definitely is louder, but it's a dreadnought style, whereas this is more of an auditorium style. I find the guitars that are made from HPL have a slightly compressed sound. They're not quite as loud. They don't have quite as much sparkle in the high end. They have ample low end, but again, it's kind of compressed. But all in all, I mean, it actually sounds better than a lot of the guitars built in the 1960s and 1970s. Definitely the ones that were budget guitars. Those things were absolutely horrible. So for $399.99, this is actually pretty cool. The thing that I was started out to purchase, and then I went for this one, is they make a bunch of their guitars, same body shape as this, smaller versions, entirely out of bamboo. They're very blonde looking, and I thought that would be absolutely cool. Now, the sound files I have heard on YouTube, the bamboo sounds more like an all maple guitar to my ears, but then again, I have not played one. And maybe I'll purchase one of those to test it against this one. But all in all, this is actually kind of a neat guitar, if you like black. Now, I can tell, just from holding it a little bit, skin oils on this, they shouldn't affect it, but I did notice that maybe it started to shine a little bit where my hand had hit it, so maybe you just have to wipe it off or whatever. Anyways, I hope you're enjoying the videos. If you are, please subscribe and hit that little bell button. That would be great. I'd be so tickled. I will respond to your comments as best I can. I can't always do it, so it might take a day or two, but I will do the best I can. Thanks again for watching. And oh, by the way, make sure you have fun playing the guitar, because that's why we play in the first place. And if you're not having fun, maybe you're playing the wrong guitar. Maybe it's too big for you, or maybe it's too small for you, or maybe it's an heirloom guitar that just does not play in tune. You need something better, but you have a low budget. Maybe this is it. Anyways, we'll see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.